The main villain for the Batman Part 2 still hasn't been revealed, but now with production starting to gear up for next spring, we will now start getting a lot more insight into the actual story of the movie and who the main villain will be, since it's still a mystery. Let's see everything we've learned about Batman Part 2 and its main villain and try to pinpoint who the main villain will be for the Batman Part 2. In case you are new to the channel, my name is George. I talk about superheroes, movies, games, etc. And in case you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like down below to let me know you enjoyed this content from me. But the biggest mystery that's been going around this whole movie has been who the main villain will be. First, the Batman movie, the main villain was the Riddler, played by Paul Dano. And even though we still don't have any casting announcements for this movie as of now, we can still pinpoint who the main villain will be based on a couple of sources, from interviews to other scoops from multiple people. So let's get into them. So a big majority of these sources I'm getting are from Josh Horowitz's interview with Matt Reeves that happened at the Emmys last week. So Matt Reeves has revealed that Batman Part 2 will focus on Bruce Wayne more than Batman. The first Batman movie focused on Batman over Bruce Wayne, and this movie will be focusing on Bruce Wayne over Batman, which is something very, very exciting. Matt Reeves has also revealed that the main villain will have a personal connection with Bruce.
That there is an exploration to be had, and one of the explorations for me was to do something that pushes even further into the character of Bruce Wayne, because the first story is so much about the Batman. Right. And so I always wanted in the movies to make sure that, let's say we get to make 3, and I have no idea, but if we get to make 3, I always wanted the movies to be focused on his character, to never, a lot of the other films, which I love, when you get
overwhelmed by.
Well, once you get past the origin tale, which we didn't quite do, but we did something that referred to as origins, then you start telling the Rogues Gallery story and that character's sort of arc. And I never wanted to lose Rob at the center of these stories, and so that is really what we set our aim on. And so picking the right villain that digs into what that does, that sort of goes into his past and his life, that was what drove that sort of discussion, and I won't tell you where we ended up, but we're super excited about it. And I will say, it's never really been done in a movie before, so we're excited. Yeah.
The villain hasn't really been done in a movie before. So with that information, let's see and let's recap every single Batman villain that's been used in the movie and try to recap a couple of them that I could see fit the movie that hadn't been done in a movie before. Joker, the Riddler, Catwoman, Penguin, Two-Face, Mr. Freeze, Bane, Poison Ivy, Carmine Falcone, Ra's al Ghul, Scarecrow, Salvatore Maroni, Talia al Ghul, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and Killer Croc. But let's look at a couple of villains that haven't been used in a Batman movie, and that I think have a big possibility of being the main villain for the Batman Part 2. One that I've been seeing a lot of people theorize has been Hugo Strange. One of his most famous appearances is in Batman Arkham City. Intimidating villain for Batman, he was mostly present in Batman Arkham City, where he revealed that he knew Batman's identity, at least for a time, and was a big threat of that whole game. So I could see that happening, but I think it would be a bit too early to do Hugo Strange. How much scale would be needed for that character and whatever the plan would be, but it's still possible. And probably the one that has been most theorized and has had the most evidence has been Hush. The biggest that we've gotten from this is the first movie, where Bruce Wayne's parents' backstory was revealed through the Riddler in live TV, where he revealed that Thomas Wayne was basically getting blackmailed by a reporter who knew dirty information on Martha Wayne and how she'd been in and out of multiple institutes throughout her life, following her mother, killing her dad, and then committing suicide. That's something that obviously Thomas wouldn't want, getting out into the public, to basically deal with that reporter. And that reporter ended up being killed by Carmine Falcone and his gang. And that reporter happened to be Tommy Elliott's father. The other big hint is a literal shot of Thomas Wayne meeting fans and supporters, etc. And then the screen goes black and white, we just see Hush.
And there it is.
I think it's obvious. The Batman Hush storyline in the comics is not one of the most fan favorites. The art is pretty good. I still need to read it. I wanted to get in the DC Compact version, but a lot of people were saying that it sucks ass and stuff, so I don't know, but I still might get it in case Hush turns out to be the villain in Batman Part 2. So Hush's identity is Tommy Elliott, and he first appeared in Batman issue 609 from 2003 in the storyline of Batman Hush. His normal design is a big coat along with his head wrapped around with bandages, sort of imitating a surgery patient. Tommy and Bruce were very big friends back when they were kids, but the big major difference is Bruce loved his parents and Tommy didn't. Tommy was basically the failed child basically, and was only there for the money basically. After Bruce's parents died and Batman and Bruce inherited all their wealthiness, Tommy saw that situation and got jealous. And since Tommy hated his parents, he sabotaged their car's brakes and caused them to have an accident and eventually killed them. His father died, but his mother stayed alive because she was saved by Thomas Wayne, the surgeon.
I am a surgeon! I am a surgeon! Dr. Hunt!
So with all this jealousy built up inside him, Tommy eventually left to stop contact with Bruce. Throughout the years, as they entered their teens into the early adult ages, Tommy became a skilled surgeon. And years later, he reappeared in Gotham, now with the identity of Hush. And with this ability of Hush is to basically be a skilled surgeon, he normally takes faces at his advantage. As we saw in that Arkham Knight side mission, Hush disguised himself basically as Bruce Wayne, recreating Bruce Wayne's face from lost skin and stuff, to basically sneak into Wayne Towers and get access to all the wealthiness that Bruce has. I don't think Matt Reeves will go this far, with the whole face changing thing, but I wonder how they could do Hush in live action. I think that could be very, very interesting. So I think Hush is definitely the biggest candidate of who would be the main villain of the Batman Part 2. That's really the only one I can see being the villain. A lot of people wanted Mr. Freeze or some other character like that, but I think that was a bit too fantastical for Matt Reeves' vision for the Batman, especially with this whole corrupted idea that he has. And Hush would fit that one perfectly, since he can recreate faces, so he could go into big political positions or into the police force and eventually drive them, a majority of that, to corruption, and for him to get his own power, sort of how like Penguin did in the end of the show, where he eventually got a big position in basically Gotham's political power. So yeah, these are just my thoughts on who might be the villain for the Batman Part 2. The rumors and everything we've learned seem to be hinting towards Hush, but I guess we'll see in the next coming weeks or months when production starts to start up and we start getting a lot more info on the Batman Part 2. I can't wait. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and comment below what you think of this and who you think the main villain for the Batman Part 2 will be. I'm George. Peace out. Take care.